Hey guys, what's going on? We're gonna do a Clash of Wills run with only NVA units and a Runda. So we're not trying to use any time limited gear, none of that, no premium stuff, you know, just all basic gear. That way maybe you can copy the strategy with either these units and gear exactly, or by slotting in your own DPS that might be better, or your own tanks that might be better than this. This is pretty much a baseline strategy, so hopefully this can help you out. So I will be able to run a few modifiers, but I'm just not going to turn them on yet. So first off, the strategy is going to rely on 2 tanks. So the boss rotates on some turns where it's physical AoE damage and some turns it's magical AoE damage. So you can actually run 2 tanks at the same time, just covering all the time, or you could run 1 tank and switch between on the turns that is needed. So like you could do like Maeve, for instance, and do magic cover 1 turn, then physical cover another turn, and just keep switching around. Or you can just run 2 tanks like I'm doing here and run Beatrix magic covering all the time and Runda physical covering all the time. And then that's basically the mostly of the strategy, and I'm also keeping all the mitigations and everything up. So I'm going to talk about what each unit is doing here on the team, and then we're going to go back for the modifiers that we're doing. All right, so Beatrix is just magic covering and putting up magic mitigation, and then she's healing a little bit, and she'll be using LB gauge fill for Runda. Now, Squall, Titus, and Jekt are pretty much just DPS units. That's all they're really doing for us. And Jekt is AoE water. There also are breakers and everything too, except for magic break, which is done by Runda. Jekt is our water imbue. Elena is going to do morale fill primarily and stop protection. And Runda is going to do general mitigation, physical mitigation, attack magic break, and physical cover, and provoke. He does a lot. Simple little unit who does so much. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and we're gonna run the reduce party's elemental resistance all by 50%, and we're gonna do the reduce party's HP restoration amount by 50%. Okay, now again, this is stage 99. If you find it a little hard, you could tier down. I would suggest tiering down to stage 90 and getting the rewards from there. If you feel like that's good for you and you want to stop there, turn 90, you get all the rewards you should really want. All right, so for this strategy, we're pretty much just going to be using Beatrix in her Brave Shift form. So I have her with enough resistances to survive everything in that form. If I take off the 50% elemental resistance buff or debuff, you can see that she is built for 250% resistance in all stats. Okay, but with that buff on, I like that it applies there actually in the menu screen. She does go to 200 across the board because the boss does do a 100% in peril, and combined with the 50% that I'm taking from the score bonus multiplier, that would reduce her down to 100%, therefore still immune. Okay, and another thing that we're going to be using a lot and keeping our MP up is Blizzard Orb on Runda. It makes sure he counters with his basic attack, and his basic attack is a AoE MP fill. All right, other than that, I'll explain as we go along. Let's go. So we start off, and Beatrix is going to Brave Shift. The only thing she has in this form, in her regular form, is just some autofill gear. So we just wanted to go ahead and pop off with a few of those, and then we're going to shift her over into her Brave Shift form. We're going to dual cast, and we're going to put up magic mitigation and her magic cover. We're going to guard with Lone Lion Squall because he gets targeted a lot. We're going to, but only on the turn 1. So, and then we're going to triple cast with physical cover. It's not just physical cover, it's also general mitigation 50% and physical mitigation for 50%, and attack, defense, magic, and spirit buff by 230%. We're going to attack magic break for 80% against the boss, and then we're going to provoke, and that is a 75% mitigation and a 100% chance to be targeted on Runda. Jekt is going to do triple quick strike, and he's going to AoE imbue water to the whole team. He's going to do a defense break, and then he'll do a enable triple cast. Sure. Star player Titus, let's just have him do spiral cut 3 times just to make sure that we do hit the boss with water. Right now you have to hit the boss with either water, dark, or ice every turn, or else it kind of gets really angry. All right, Elena is going to use dual cast, and she's going to use protection of the Azure Crystal, and let's use Beloved Heroine. Okay, so then we're going on to turn 2. Alright, so see, Lone Lion Squall took lots of damage there. He would have taken twice as much if we didn't guard. And that's not something we can afford. Alright, so now we're going to do Runda with his LB. Now see, Runda's countering and giving back MP. Runda's going to use his LB and give us 80% general mitigation and 80% physical mitigation. Beatrix now has the liberty to use Curaga twice and try and heal the party. And we're gonna wait for Elena to come back. Elena's gonna use her triple cast, and she's gonna use Beloved Heroine, fill morale gauge, so that's just 2 different morale fills, and we're gonna use Blessing of the Azure Crystal. Jekt is going to we'll reload him from last turn because he's fine. Star player Titus is going to start helping out build the morale gauge, so he's going to do buffs for everybody, and then hit for a little bit of damage, and then boost water resistance. Lone Lion Squall is now also going to help out. He's going to use defense break twice, and then morale gauge by breaking the enemy full break once. It's only a 50% break, but by doing it every turn, it does build the morale gauge. So there we go. We're getting the all the damage. Runda's gonna shift the boss. So every time you do an LB, you cause the boss to change its AI of whether it puts up a offensive buff until the next time you do an LB, or a defensive buff until the next time you do an LB. So let's check and see what buff it has right now. So it has a attack magic buff, and it'll keep that buff up until the next time I do a LB. Okay, which is going to be turn 4 because we're going to use Runda's good LB. All right, Beatrix is just going to use her double heal again because we still have her magic mitigation and her magic cover up. Runda's gonna use cover, attack magic break, and provoke again. Elena's gonna use triple cast and fill morale gauge, and this is going to steal all of the imperils from the whole team and boost the whole team's elemental resistance. If you do that on the proper turns, you wouldn't have to gear Beatrix for as high of resistance. And then we're going to use stop protection. Okay, and then we'll just hit everybody for dammies again. Again, just trying to build that morale gauge higher every turn. Go get him, Runda. Go get him, little buddy. All right. So Runda's going to do Android's Growth. That is the MP regen that he does on his counter. Sorry if I'm moving a little fast. I just don't want this to be a very, 4-hour-long video for you guys. So sorry if I'm moving a little bit fast. We just have to wait on Runda to finish his Android's Growth, which is just his counter of filling the MP bar for everybody. He done yet? Okay. Runda starts off by using his LB. Beatrix has to use her cover and her magic mitigation. And then Jekt is going to use triple cast. Jekt shot. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. I was like, why do we have to do all those again? We will triple cast and fill the morale gauge. Actually, you know what? This is a great turn to do the chain modifier. So turn 4, chain modifier. Here we go. All right, so we're going to do speed of light and bolting strike chain. Triple cast. Bolting strike. So we're just going to get everybody to use bolting strike. That's what we're doing this turn. Oh, no, not that one. Non-elemental, which is currently imbued with water. And Lone Lion Squall. All right, and then we just say everybody at once, and this should be 107 for the chain count. $107. Okay, we'll take a little bit of damage here and there. It's fine. Runda goes out and covers the rest. Now he's going to do a million counters. So we got our chain score modifier. Great, love it. Come back next year whenever Runda's finished. He opens up his little backpack and dumps out a whole bunch of other Rundas. They are other Rundas, right? It is what he's doing. Okay, so let's do... I really don't like this defense spirit one. So I'm just gonna do an LB with Squall, just to get rid of that defense and spirit one. So we're actually doing damage the whole time. All right, so Elena's gonna do her Brave Shift, and then she's gonna go back to doing Superluminal Speed, Fill Morale Gauge, Stop Protection, and I believe it's Aurora Arts. That's the one with the stop one, isn't it? That's the charm one. Okay, so it's Blossom Arts. All right. Runda just did his LB, is that correct? So he needs to do his cover and attack magic break and all that. All right. Cover, attack magic break, and provoke. And where does that put our Beatrix? Our Beatrix is at cover, magic mitigation. All right. So then we can do fill LB gauge and heal. Jekt is going to get back to AoE imbuing, doing a defense break, and enabling triple cast constantly. Titus is going to get back to doing buff, then damage, then morale buff. Yeah, I really don't like the defense and spirit buff because it basically prevents you from like getting any damage done on the boss. Runda rockets! Runda has great rockets, honestly. Okay, and then we're gonna continue going on. The little Runda rockets, is that what they are? I guess so. All right, You're gonna wait until we can reload. Come on. All right, so we reload that. Lone Lion Squall is gonna use triple cast, double faded, or one faded circle, I guess. Agile Edge, since we just used his LB, I suppose, and draw. Elena is gonna use only triple cast or only double cast. Okay. Rhonda does same move, I guess. Yes. Beatrix, how you doing on moves? You have magic and cover. We're gonna need double heals, I think, Beatrix. Let's do a heal and a LB gauge fill. Yikes. Okay, and with you two guys, let's do chain. Okay. Come on, do not hurt Beatrix. That's the goal here. Just don't kill her. Okay. Runda rockets! Android's growth. He just keeps doing it. I mean, maybe they are rockets. Take a look real quick. It's hard to tell. They move by so fast. No, they're definitely tiny little Rundas. They're definitely tiny little Rundas. Yes. Texas size. I am recording this right now for YouTube. Yes, I'm currently on Twitch recording this for YouTube. Alright, so Runda's gonna do his LB. And we can use restore HP and MP for all allies. And then Discerning Will. Elena's gonna do triple cast and do the, where is it, stop protection, and fill morale gauge and remove defense and spirit reductions. Okay, all you guys are gonna chain together. I wonder if, can we get a little bit more damage with you guys? Can we go spiral cut energy rain and faded circle 3 times? Yeah. Because I really want to push that 50%. Really want to push it. And Beatrix, what are you at? You have your reduces magic damage and cover. So can we just do heal twice? Really make sure we've got that heal going. That HP up there. That's what I'm going for. I feel like that really helped us push. Okay. That was a lot of dammies. Now we gotta wait for Runda rockets. Android's growth is an android's growth replication where he just makes more Rundas? Is that what an android's growth is? So we do cover and Shelga. Runda does cover, Runda laser, and provoke. Jack does the same thing. Elena can do triple cast, stop protection, crystal more fragmentation, and fill morale gauge. Titus can do Barrel cut 3 times. See if we can get that morale gauge up there a little bit. I'm really just trying to press as hard as I can now. Like, press on damage. So we're pressing the morale gauge just a little slower, but doing it with getting that to that 50% mark a little bit easier. So, right, Ronda's gonna use his LB. Beatrix just used her magic mitt and her cover, so that means she can use LB fill and a Kiraga. You 3 guys can do your same thing, and then we use triple cast, stop, fill morale gauge, and I guess that. Right. You 2 guys keep doing your dammies. We must have the attack magic buff on from the boss right now. Yep. It's the attack magic buff. Boof. Attack magic boof. Oh, we managed to get to this marker faster. That's great. I like that. I like getting there. Okay. So, android's growth a few more times. Maybe Texas size. Maybe I can. That's funny. He's got to finish off doing his moves. Eventually. Eventually he does. He's gonna stop, right? Alright. Boost defense and spirit for all allies. Boost attack magic for all allies. How are we doing on that mitigations? Let's look at Elena. Physical and... It says 2, but I don't know about that. So Runda's gonna have to use cover, Runda laser, and provoke. And then Beatrix is gonna use... Well, let's see where she's at. She has magic mitigation and cover. All right. Then it looks like, and we're pretty safe on HP right now, so let's just fill the LB gauge. I like that. That's a lot of LB gauge fill. All right. Elena is gonna do triple cast, stop, protection, fill morale gauge, and mitigations. Jekt can do his imbue and everything. And then we'll do a little bit of damage with Titus and Squall. Okay, they're doing good on their dammies. Alright, we need them to be at like 51-ish%. We cannot press the boss past the 50% threshold. If we pass the boss past the 50% threshold, he basically does an AoE death move. The only way to survive, which is casting AoE re-raise, which isn't really surviving, it's coming back to life. We couldn't really fit AoE re-raise into this party, so... I mean, I suppose if I went way slower, I could take out Squall and put in an AoE re-raise there, but ugh. Okay. Runda's gonna do an LB. And then we'll do an attack magic buff. I wonder if we can start prepping. Probably, right? We can probably start prepping. Let's go ahead and do these two guys. We'll do Spiral Cut, Energy Rain, Ace's ability. Triple trigger. We're going to do Fated Circle twice. And we choose to fight back. We'll do triple cast. And former Ace's duty. Okay. Elena's gonna roll shift down. Well, actually, let's see where she's at on this turn. What is her skills that she would need to cast? Nothing. She's fine. It would just be adding the morale gauge, so we're good. So she's gonna brave shift down. Shouldn't be anything that's gonna kill us this turn, he said. We're gonna do Piercing Prism and then Blade of Salvation twice. We'll do Eject. And let's see if these two guys do damage. Do too much damage or not. They can't press below 50%. That's the thing. Okay, we're good. We're solid. All right, are we on the defense? We're on the attack magic one. All right, we just used Runda's LB. So that's going to put up the defense spirit buff. So we're going to have to kind of like dodge around for one turn while we use another LB again. But that's fine. So we'll just use Beatrice's LB next turn. So we have reduces magic. We have covers ally. All right, so let's do... we're going to do heal. And we'll do a magic mitigation this turn. Next turn, we'd kind of like fart around with some damage, try to get it a little bit closer, and just do Beatrix's LB. Okay. We'll shift Elena back. We're gonna do Luminous Speed. We're gonna do attack, defense, magic, and spirit protection, and charm. Stop and charm protection, right? It's stop and charm protection, right? Yeah, stop and charm. Okay. Because we have the sword imperil that is needed from her until like a few turns from now. Yeah. And these guys have their buffs for another turn. So we're gonna do Beatrix's LB. Gonna do that to switch it back to attack magic as it's buffing. And let's see what we can do with you guys for doing damage. We won't chain you. Let's see here. We'll do Get Really Pumped and Spiral Cut. We'll do this one at a time, because we can't press below 50%. Okay. Lone Lion Squall is going to do triple. Let's have him do Fated Circle, Draw, and Agile Edge. Can't go below 50%. Delightful. And Jekt is gonna do triple quick strike, a little AoE water imbue, a little defense break, and a little imperil. We'll keep the morale gauge up there by doing the attack magic buff for this turn after we've done all of our moves. And Runda, you have reduces physical damage, reduces general, covers. So with Runda, we're just going to keep the attack magic break, the cover, and the provoke going. Okay. And so this coming turn is going to be the kill turn, turn 13. Ronda jumps out, saves everybody's lives. Cena, Zerker is around. Zerker's around, you just gotta look for him. He hasn't been streaming in a while though. Alright. So we wait for Ronda to finish his rotation. Come on, Ronda, finish your rotation. All right, so we do Discerning Will, Resurging Will, Resilient Will, Resounding Will. Just a few. Okay. Elena's gonna Brave Shift back down. She's going to use, where's it at? Speed of Light. We use Speed of Light, Blade of Salvation, Crystal Refraction, Piercing Prism. Jack's going to use LB, Titus is going to use LB, Lone Lion Squall is going to use LB, and Runda's going to use Runda Laser 3 times. Beatrix is going to shift back down, and because we have Blue Wave equipped to her, she's going to help out with a little Blue Wave. Okay? Alright, so the chaining order is going to be this. We hit with Jekt, we wait a few seconds, then we hit with Titus, then we wait a few seconds, then we hit with everybody else at the same time. Okay? So let's do this. We're gonna get enough damage to kill it. Sometimes maybe if your variance roll is really low, you'll leave it at like 1% with this exact build, but I trust that you probably have better than Jekt in your party. All right, let's do it. Jekt first, then star player Titus, then everybody else. Alright, here goes. Dammies. Dammies! Somebody actually hit outside of the chain, actually. Who hit outside of the chain? You're not allowed to do that. I don't care. I don't care. We did it. Somebody hit outside of the chain. It was probably Jekt. It was Squall. Squall hit outside of the chain? Oh my god. So we'll just take whatever Squall's damage was and multiply that by 7. Check report, see who it was. See who that person was. Who hit outside of the chain? Jekt. Jekt hit outside of the chain. That slow guy. That loser. So he would have gotten much higher on his damage report. Nice job, Jet. Alright. But there we go. So you can see number of turns for clear, biggest chain, most damage in one turn is pretty, whatever. But it does work, and that is it. Yeah, Dad failed. But that's the run. Hopefully it does work for you guys. Ooh, I want that ticket. 4-star ticket. I'll take a 4-star ticket. Jet got beat by his son. So let's go ahead and look over the gear. The gear for everybody, you can see the Espers as such. Basically killers for the Espers, except for Beatrix, who has that for elemental resistance. She's got Galbana Lilies and Phoenix Synergy for passive morale gauge fill in this form. It's only procs on turn 1 though. And then she has Blue Wave for that very last turn. She's got Pure Lotus, so she does heal her own HP back at the beginning of every turn, or the end of every turn. Then she's just got these and Ark's Hat just to provide her with a little bit of magic for that last turn Blue Wave, and then Saintly Castle for a little bit of mitigation in case I ever forget to put it up, which we didn't. In her Brave Shift form, she has that 250% resistance to all elements, which we're getting from all this gear here. Okay? All of this is Trust Masteries or STMRs or Trial Reward content. The Vision card is a new journey giving 10% resistances to those, and then 10% more. So it's 20% in total resistance to fire, ice, and light. And then it gives 20% more, so in total 40% to fire, ice, and light resistance from the Vision card of A New Journey. Okay, and then we're going for Star Player Titus. Star Player Titus has his vision card equipped, which is A Story of Beginnings, which gives 50% Fairy Killer. If you've got a better card, please use it. Then he's got all this gear. All this gear, we pretty much built him for LB gauge, sword equipped, and because of the sword in peril, and dragon and fairy killer. So you can see his stats are as such, with the dragon 250% and fairy at 250% and his LB damage boost at 300. Let's look at Squall. Squall has dragon 300, fairy 300, LB damage boost of 320. You can see his gear as such. There we go. And again, Story of Beginnings. You're going to see a lot of this card. It's a random vision card. I try to use the random ones for these guides because you'll get them when you're pulling for any Neo Vision. And then we have Runda. Runda has just lots of HP, lots of defense, and Blizzard Orb. I threw Twin Bunny Clips on him, so he got passive LB gauge fill. And then he has his own Trust Mastery on him, so he can have 100% provoke with having 75% general mitigation. And then the rest of his stuff is just HP and defensive stats. And then HP and defense right there. Boom. HP defense. All right. Jecht. Jecht has A Story of Beginnings. Surprise, surprise. Never seen this card before. And then... yeah, it provides 75. And then he's again built for sword, and he has, you know, LB damage and fairy and dragon killer on him. And 175% dragon and 300% fairy with 300% LB damage boost. Okay, Elena. Elena in her regular form, built for attack and magic, since she is a hybrid unit with fairy and dragon killer. So you can see her build here, and she has her dragon and fairy killers. She did not get built for LB damage. And then, oh look, the same vision card again. Again, these are basically placeholder vision cards, so if you've got better, please use them. The Brave Shift form, since she was in that pretty much the entire fight, I just built her for having morale gauge fill. We were using the one Clash of Wills gear, which is just the only reason this is on her is for filling the morale gauge. You should be able to get this by getting up for a few stages and just buying the first Clash of Wills gear. So literally put any Clash of Wills gear in here. As you go up through the stages, you should be able to buy one or two of them, at least the base forms, and be able to equip them somewhere in here. And then she's got just some morale gauge fill stuff. So I had to use Equip Instrument and Dual Wield so she could do the double batons. Then we got Pure Lotus and Phoenix Energy on her. Okay, and that's the builds for everybody. I hope this helped you guys out, and that you're able to clear the Clash of Wills this run with a better team and a better score than me. Let's see what my score ended up being real quick before we head out, because I've only done it with this. It's 996. I'm gonna get pushed out probably by you guys if you follow this guide a little bit and do better than I did. All right, much love and peace.